What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode. So today I got me a Zhiyun Smooth 5S. It's a it's a pretty long name, but anyway, it is Zhiyun latest and greatest in terms of a mobile gimbal. This one is the big daddy of them all. If you guys have been using some of the smaller one, this one right here can handle a pretty good payload. Anyway, I do have a big payload today, mainly the iPhone 14 Pro Max right here. This thing is pretty hefty. It's chunky. So we're gonna test it on that thing. So if you have a smaller phone than this one, it's gonna work on this thing just fine. So anyway, what we are going to do is we're gonna try this thing out. Okay, I'm gonna unbox this right now, see what's inside of it. I honestly don't even know what's inside. This is my first time actually seeing it at all. And then we're gonna get out there and do an actual live test for you guys. All right, so let's go ahead and do it. I do want to thank Zhiyun for sending this to me. They actually just contacted me and asked if I want to try it out because I've done some of their other products video, which I bought myself. So anyway, I want to thank them for sending this to me. Got a nice little case in here, very nice. A lot of instruction booklets. I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna find this very useful. There is a QR code on here if you want to download the app. Very nice case. And here is the gimbal. Wow, so this gimbal right here actually looks like the Zhiyun Crane M3, which I had the pleasure of testing out a few months ago. Yeah, it looks exactly like it. I actually do like this form factor quite a bit. It feels solid in the hand, and they translated just fine into the Smooth 5 right here. I got the knobs on the side here, little joystick right here. By the way, happy to tell you that this joystick doesn't fall off of this thing. Zhiyun last iteration of their gimbal, for some reason the joystick was just a little nub where you attach it to it, and it keeps falling off whenever you put it in the bag. Happy to see that they've improved that quite a bit. Other thing that I noticed is that there is I guess a little screw mount right here where you can attach some of the other stuff on there. I like that. Like if you ever have a light or something like that, you can attach it right there. Speaking of light, by the way, this does come with a light. You see that right there? There is a light right there. Wow. Again, I have not read up on this at all, so everything that you've heard right here is my first impression. There is a lot of menu and modes on here, which I will be learning quite a bit. There's a lock function right back here for you to lock and unlock this. Wow, so the other thing that I noticed is that there's this tiny little hose right here. There's two holes right here. There's actually a little light that comes with it where you can attach the light to it. I can't wait to test that out too. That's pretty cool right there. It actually happens on both sides, by the way, because it's also on this side as well. I don't know if you can see that or not. Over here and over here. So that's very cool. I would say the theme of this Zhiyun Smooth 5S is lights. Like it makes sure that you can vlog with this thing at night. I mean, they even have a dedicated light button right here as well. So one thing I do notice is that the trigger button on the back here is a lot smaller than some of the older ones. Okay, let's see what else is in the box. A mini tripod. They actually haven't changed this design in probably the past 3 to 5 years, which I like, by the way. It's very nice, it's compact, and it's very sturdy. A USB-C cord, and obviously the fill light that I was telling you about earlier. There's some lanyards inside here, and just a bunch of stuff, anti-mold packets and stuff like that. So anyway, not gonna get into that, but very nice package here. Very nice. Let's go ahead and put this thing together. All right, one thing that I do notice is that this turns 360 degree. which by the way is, you don't really realize how important that is, but it's important. Some of these smaller gimbal that I've tested from Zhiyun, DJI and all that, they do not spin 360, and what happens is that when it reaches its max limit, it jerks the phones, it jerks the camera, and so you can definitely see it in the camera. So I'm glad that they went with this design right here. The one thing that I would say is that I had wished that there is some kind of locking mechanism to keep it in place, so that I can mount my phone and things like that. Right now it's just kind of there. Anyway, let's just mount my phone. This is the Apple iPhone 14 Pro Max that I'm going to try on this thing. It does have a pretty thick case on there, so you can see right there, pretty thick case. And I'm going to go ahead and try it on here. So pretty much guys, any phone or any case that you have will probably fit, because this thing is pretty much the heaviest and the biggest out there. It's pretty much, as you can see, lots of room here still. It took up this much room, lots of room here still. So I'm going to be able to adjust this right here to see if I can balance that out. Yeah, so if I push it all the way over, you can see that it's balancing over here. So it can handle a bigger phone, just an FYI. For some of you that have even bigger phones than that. Maybe if you have like an OtterBox case, you never know, you may need it. So yeah, this thing is able to handle the phone, you know, with a lot more room. So there you go. It's actually balanced out already. It's pretty easy. Pretty much one knob, twist and turn to balance it out. Again, really heavy phone here, okay, with a case. I'm gonna go ahead and attach this light on there. It looks so cool. I just need to do it. So the lights actually comes with quite a few of these coloring chips right here that you can magnetically attach to the light. You see this? So if you have a chip, just magnetically attach it on here, and oops, and you can change the color right here. Pretty cool, right? I think I'm gonna go with like an orange to give it that orange and teal look, you know? There we go. So the one thing I noticed is that this light is pretty hefty, but there are no charging mechanism on this at all. That means that it's drawing power from the Zhiyun itself. Very cool. That's very cool. Okay, so it looks like it's, once I put the light on there, it does flop over. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can adjust this. Yeah, I was able to adjust it just fine. So now it's actually balanced out before I even turn on the power. The one thing that I did notice though, guys, so if you look at this right here, from a technical standpoint, I'm glad that they are giving you a lot of room over here, mainly because I would say most of the gimbal out there, the real problem is that when you use a wide angle lens on something like an iPhone, this right here usually gets in the way. You can actually see it when you switch over to the wide angle lens. And so I'm glad that they're giving it that much room. That means that this is never going to appear on there. I'm gonna bet that that's the way they designed it. They designed it to where this is slimmer and further away from the lens so that the wide angle doesn't get in the way, or this portion of the gimbal doesn't get in the way of the wide angle. I bet you anything. Anyway, we're gonna turn it on and see. Okay, so everything's balanced out right now. Yeah, if you can stand it like this and it doesn't flop over, I think you're doing pretty good there. Let's see if there's any batteries in here. So yeah, it's on. Okay, well, you know what? There's nothing else really I can talk about this other than showing you guys the footage from this, right? So let's go ahead and get out there and do a little test. Let's do it. Well, there you have it, guys. That's the Zhiyun Smooth 5S. This thing is incredibly strong. So the one thing that I'm gonna tell you is that when I am using the gimbal, whichever direction that I turn, the gimbal was able to just handle it like a champ, meaning that it doesn't feel like it's struggling at all at any given time. I can move however I want. If you're a veteran to using gimbals, you know that at a certain point in each gimbal that you use, you feel like the gimbal says, no, don't go that direction, right? Well, this right here, for some reason, I can turn it however I want, upside down if I wanted to, and I feel like it was like, okay, you know, I was able to handle it. And I'm talking about a huge phone right here, guys, okay? I'm talking about iPhone 14 Pro Max. This thing is ginormous right here, okay? And it's able to say, yeah, I'm able to do it just fine. So my thought on this is that this is gonna be probably the last gimbal that you're gonna buy for the next probably 2 to 3 years, because when iPhone 15 Pro Max come out, 16 Pro Max comes out, where it's a lot heavier, because you know they're gonna keep cramming more batteries into these things to make it bigger, right? To make it last longer. And so the phone is gonna be a lot heavier. I feel like this is probably gonna be the last gimbal that you're gonna buy for the next few years. Yeah, and it's kind of future-proofing your purchase right here. Anyway, that's my thought right there. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I will see you in the next episode. Have a good one. Bye-bye.